All right, everybody. Everybody coming in. Welcome to the Fuzzy Butt Talk Show. On my YouTube channel, we're on episode 18, but this is the second year in a row we've been at TFL. And like I said, we're doing convention experiences. So there's people who are new to the fandom, new to convention going, and those are who have been here many times. Come in, have a seat. We have plenty of chairs. And like I said, we have plenty of people who are in here that I see have fursuits. I have 6 years of convention going. My guest here, Tekran, he's got over 10 years of experience. Flo also has some years of experience going conventions. And we have a good list of questions. And at the end of this, I will be asking people to come up who have been here for more than 2 years going to conventions to come up and share their personal experiences. So with the first question, you good?
Yes,
You good
I
over
was
there?
getting a bunch of gain on this. Five it down, so I'm not
Okay.
again.
We're
There we
good?
go. Yes, we're good now.
We're good. Okay.
Okay. Testing. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So the first question on my list is how many conventions have you been to?
Okay, so this is. I'm still trying to count. I got the question list. I should have done this in advance, but here we are. So I have been staffing Murray Fiesta for 10 years. Count of the fiestas that I have staffed. I have also been to Midwest Fur Fest, Anthrocon. There's some that I've been to that aren't around anymore, like Califer. Let's see, Furry Delphia has been on the list. Megaplex. I was going to go to Aurora down in Sydney this year, but unfortunately I wasn't able to make it. I think I've been to overall. I want to say I've been to probably 18 plus conventions. Probably more around 20.
Yeah. That is a lot.
I'll let you know when I have a final count. Oh, Tales and Tornadoes. I went there this past year as well.
Come in. We have. You're just looking. This is a fuzzy this is a podcast. And you're more than welcome to come in. Okay, myself, I have been to 12 conventions. This is number 12. I've been to AC last year. I've also been to TFF several times. I've been to ACFI, and I've also been to Shadowstar. I've been to many conventions myself, mainly Texas conventions. My first out-of-state convention was Anthrocon last year. It was a lot. So bless you. So that's my personal experiences. I've had a blast ever since. Like, if people come around, people know me. I say hi. I'm very outgoing, and I'm very friendly. How many conventions have you been to? Okay, that is a lot. You've been to 7 conventions. Yes. All right. So
I'm over 30 now. I'm still counting.
you're still counting. All right. Moving on. All right.
36.
What was the first convention you have ever been to?
That would have been Califer back in 2013 or 2014, one of those two. That is no longer around. That was in out Orange County, California. That was my first exposure to the convention world. Much smaller convention. Uh, every convention starts somewhere. I think that year they had maybe 1,000.
All right. So my own personal first con, it has been my first con was actually TFF 2019. At the time, I was not staff, but I have been going since then. And my first year as staff for convention for this specific con was 2 years ago when the attack of the Jack Floppies, the alien invasion of TFF. That was my first convention as staff. But I have been going to conventions ever since this 2019 of TFF. What was your convention? It's 2020. Sorry. It's okay.
Yeah, Denver, I think it was the Allison was events.
Wow.
And then that actually became my home con because of my campus. Nine. For his time system.
All right. So we have Denver, TFF, and you said California, right?
Califer was the name of the convention, yes. My second convention was TFF, and it will forever be my hometown con. And I, as that, I'm going to get my phone to buzz on this table a million times. Pardon me if I do get distracted briefly.
We're doing it live.
What?
It happens.
I know. You know what else happens? Conventions.
Yes. So this is probably going to get a laugh out of everybody. But the next question is, how truly do you follow the 621 rule? Which is 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals, and 1 shower. Whenever you follow up.
If I don't see hands up, I'm going to ask why.
What's the question?
How truly do you follow the 621 rule, which is 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals, and 1 shower?
A day.
A day.
That's not per convention. That's per day. Very important distinction.
Yes, that is per day.
So I'm going to caveat. The 621 rule is very, very great as a minimum. Some people, the numbers need to change, right? Some people need more than 1 shower a day. Each of our bodies is different, but our sky bridge is a very prime example. If you ever go across the sky bridge, right, and you ever feel like you get punched in the face, right, and unfortunately there's 100 people there, so you can't point a finger and nobody to blame, just be sure that isn't you, right? It's a very simple matter to take a shower in the morning, right, put on some deodorant, and go about your day. If you go fursuiting, and then you get out of your fursuit, what a lot of people don't know apparently is that when you're in a fursuit, it gets really hot, and you start to sweat.
No, it doesn't. Some people are used to it.
Liars. But regardless, hygiene is a huge complaint that we get as staffers at cons. Is that oh, blah 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 smelled like BO, right? And we can't go around Febrezing the entire convention or spraying it in people's face because technically that is assault. You can't spray chemicals on people. But I mean, this being said, as tempting as it is, we can't do that. So we love to put the 621 rule forward, right? Those are the minimums, right? And it's important to be healthy during a convention, right? When you lose sleep, right? When you don't shower, all of us, man, 8,000 plus people here. I'm just based off last year's numbers. I don't have this year's reg numbers. But we have over 8,000 people in one convention center across two main hotels, right? How many people know if they come in sick or if they come in not feeling 100%, right? If you start to lose sleep, your immune system doesn't keep up. And ultimately, it's not just a matter of does it smell bad, it's how many people get sick after the con?
Many. But we have a question.
What's your question?
I'm staff for con ops this year. The numbers are close to 9,000.
Close to 9. So we have someone from con ops. The numbers are very close to 9,000 this year. And registration is still open, so we can still surpass it.
We're still on the first day.
I think Thursday's the first day, but
Let's go.
no, for me, Wednesday was the first day because I have to work.
Because we're staff. Yes.
So what you're saying is there's a possibility we could go over 9,000? Yes.
It's already over 9,000.
No, it's close.
It's close.
It's close. Oh, it's highly possible we could go over 9,000. And it's not a Goku reference.
I'm not going to make the reference, but I'm going to leave it to the people on main stage at closing ceremonies to make the joke. Not because I don't want to make the joke, but because I fear the legal department.
Okay. We have chairs over here on this side. Over here.
If you're looking for a seat or some open space
Yes.
up here,
We have
and
open space.
on my left here, I guess you're right.
Y'all's right, our last. Yeah, like towards the middle on that side.
One here, 3, 4 over here, another 5, 6 further in the back, some on the far side.
All right. Moving on to the next question. Would you say that every time you've been to a con, has it been a positive experience or has it been a negative experience?
At every convention I go to, there are positive experiences. At every convention I go to, right, nothing is perfect, right? There are always flaws, but I, for the most part, have always had more positive takeaways than negatives. We'll all have our setbacks, but I think that overall, pretty much every convention I've been to has been very, very net positive.
That's awesome. Every convention I have been to as well has been a positive. I've had like a couple of negative experiences, but it's not really important. But I'm happy at every con I go to. I help as much as I can where I can, and that's what's important.
But I think with positive experiences, right? If you have a negative experience, don't let that bring down your convention. You know, we can all have bad days; they happen. I have bad days, but if we can focus on the positive parts of the con, 9,000 people coming together to celebrate what we do, which is absolutely insane, mind you. 9,000 people is a lot of people, and all of us being just as weird as the other. That's really. And if you can think about that, and put it in perspective, honestly, to me, that helps me cheer up whenever I'm having a negative time.
That's true. Most of the time, like cons, doesn't matter if you have a bad experience or not. Most of the uh, time, the positive atmosphere in cons will outweigh the downsides. I can tell you, like my first con, I had this badge, this pixel art, a friend made for me, that was stolen. It got dropped for my mistake for not watching my stuff, but nobody ever returned it. I was worried about it for every day. Didn't have any way to get people recognize who I was. But at the end of it all, staff got around, they knew me, they followed up with me the following year. And, it's just, like I said, the positive outweighs the negative and it's turned out to be better. I actually got invited to be part of staff for this year.
And that's awesome. See, at the end of the day, the staff is always the one that makes cons run. And with all of you out here coming, attending these events, it makes us happy.
Yeah, and I think it's important to say we can't do it without you. Every one of y'all that show up makes it so much worthwhile, right? Being staff can be stressful, but it is so incredibly fulfilling to see the turnout, right? Every year, so I'm the charity lead. Every year when I see the charity members come out, I think I have to think and realize we may have raised that amount of money, but it's because all of y'all were so generous and donated, right? I could sit there at the charity midway and be, scream and play the games. But ultimately, it's y'all's generosity that makes this happen. And that's what truly makes us an incredible fandom, right? We partner with these charities. Almost all conventions in the US are nonprofits that partner with really awesome causes. And so when you're paying your registration, when you're playing our charity games, you're participating in events, right? Like our tournaments, you're not only doing this to have a great time, you have a positive impact on the world around you. And that's incredibly fulfilling.
And I agree with that. So, I see a lot of you have first time attendee ribbons all on your badges. So
Raise your hand.
raise your hand if you're a first time here.
Oh my God, that's almost half.
One man, oh man. So,
Awesome, welcome. You're one of us now.
yeah.
One of us. Awesome.
I was bad today.
So, for all of you first time attendees, what advice do you have for them?
So, first time attendees and cons. If this is your first convention ever, the numbers can be overwhelming. It's very easy to get lost in the sauce, so to speak. There's a lot of stuff going on. And the best thing you can do, if you like structure, there's kind of two ways to go about it. If you really like structure, you have a schedule. The guidebook app for TFF, and pretty much every convention has some variant of this online schedule, an online copy. Get that together. Take a look at it. So take a look at what you want to do, what interests you have, see any hobbies, right? And start going to panels. If you're at your first time at a convention, almost every convention has this is my first TFF panel. Go to that. You'll start to meet people who are also in their first environments, right? If you go to these panels, you're going to interact with people that already have a common interest to you. If you are really into Magic the Gathering, right? We have, so yesterday we had an open play session up in, I see you nodding, you know exactly where I'm going with this. We had an open play session up at the tabletop gaming room. There were so many people there to play Commander that we ran out of table space. And people didn't turn away like, oh, where's our table space? We can't play. No, they sat on the floor and played their pods.
which is awesome.
So there's no shortage of people here that have a common interest, and the best way to start connecting and to really get into the vibe with the convention is to just show up. You remember my name?
So, and a question somebody might have in here for all the first time is, where's the gaming floor?
Gaming, so video gaming and tabletop gaming are side by side on the 37th floor of the central tower. It is going to be, if you're looking back towards the elevators, we're over the south tower right now. If you go back towards the center tower elevators, it's the furthest elevator bank from us here. The elevator bank system here has confused many a person. This year, I've gotten on the wrong elevator 3 times, and I've been doing this since we started the building. I am not immune to not having enough coffee or getting on the wrong elevator.
And nobody is immune to that.
No,
Especially like with people, a lot of people who are just now coming here or have been here many years. If there is somebody that has been here many years, they know the hotel layout very well, like myself and Tekra. If you have any questions where anything is, we're here. And there's also the all staff of the TFF official groups. You can ask like, hey, where is this? Somebody will answer you.
we also have a really handy help desk. Does anyone not know where the Sky Bridge is right now? Everyone knows where the Sky Bridge is, right? So on this side of the Sky Bridge, yeah, you can't miss it. You can smell it from a mile away. If you go to the Sky Bridge, there's a little desk there next to the FedEx office. That is our help desk. They are here to help, just why it's called help desk. They have directions. There's people there who know the layout of the entire hotel space. They have that memorized. You could blindfold them and they'll put their hand in etch a sketch and they'll draw it to scale. They've done this so many times. If they don't have the answers immediately, they will also know who can get the answers. You lost an item, lost and found, they'll know where it is. They'll know where the lost and found is. They have lost and found their high value item. They might refer you to the hotel. Looking for a panel? Where's this panel? My phone's dead. Do you have a charger? I'd like to volunteer. I'd like to staff. Please join staff. All this, they have the answers for you. And so anyone with a blue ribbon under under the lanyard, that says staff,
Or a special blue lanyard, or a special blue and light blue lanyard.
these lanyards, these are staff lanyards. Hunt one of us down. I'm wearing a furry Fiesta shirt, right? This is our staff shirt. We've got some higher level staff wearing shirts like this. Any of us, you see us, if you have a question, have a concern, feedback, we love to hear it, right? So, you got something?
When you go to the help desk and you have a high value item, it is logged into our system and then it does go to the hotel front desk for safety reasons.
There we go. So yeah, so just to reiterate for those who didn't hear, when you have a high value item that's lost, if it does get turned into the help desk, they will log it, but it does go over to the hotel for security reasons. We don't, as a convention, keep those high value items, but we do keep a record of it. The people in ConOps are very well organized. I know you know. Slick is very attentive to detail. Slick is our exec over at ConOps. Phenomenal at putting things together.
Yes, and that also includes like IDs, any kind of ID, driver's license. Now, if it's like a badge, like Florinde lost his badge that time, it's going to be at the lost and found at the help desk. But if it was his driver's license, it would be at the hotel front desk.
That's a great distinction. So I myself have found this year 4 items, including a set of fursuit eyelids that were at the top of an escalator and going, it's getting caught, falling onto the next step over and over again. A cell phone, a charging cable and brick, and an ID. All these items, we're very attentive. We try to make sure that they get back to their owners. So, but I think we're digressing a little off the topic.
Yes. Well, I mean, this is all about the topic. But moving on to the next question. I see many of you have fursuits. And it is for those that do not have fursuits. What is it? How cautious should you be around fursuiters?
Okay, so to address that, let's address a couple things about fursuits. Would you do me a favor, stand up? This is a fun little exercise. I would like you to put your hands out in front of you. Move them apart until you cannot see your hands anymore. That is their field of vision. My field of vision is about there. I can see most of the way apart. Some fursuiters' field of vision closes to about there. I have another fursuit head
It's
where
just,
I'm
we also have a block in the middle.
exactly. So because animals have snouts, we have blind spots. So in the middle, where the bridge of their nose is, if they are looking directly at you and you're sitting there point blank, they might not see you. So they might not be aware that you're standing right in front of them. That's just how some fursuits are built. A lot of them share that same issue. Visibility is a big issue for fursuiters. Another thing, when you have something that fully surrounds your head, another thing that's blocked off is your ability to hear things well. Another thing that's blocked off is your ability to hear things well.
Kenny fell down.
Yes, Kenny fell down on
He
me.
said he asked Timmy fell down. Well,
Oh, yeah, see, I thought you said Kenny. That's the third thing. People can't hear you talking back. So
it just depends on how they're made.
exactly. So some fursuits have different designs, and so it's important to know though that if fursuiters are big, obvious, they stand out in the crowd, right? I can look and peek, boom, 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 fursuits, right? But they may not see you. Uh, so there's the important things when you're looking at a fursuiter, right? If you're trying to interact with them, know that it can be an effort to get someone's attention. The thing to be cautious about.
Yes, we have jangles.
We have jingly bells. So if you're wearing that and jingling, and I say, "Hey, can I get your picture?" The odds of them hearing that are slim to none. If I turn, wave, do whatever I can to get your attention, I really, really want this person's picture. Hey, hey. At some point, they may acknowledge me. Can I get a picture with you? Can I? That's a nod, right? We can express that. Not all fursuiters talk. There are silent suitors. The biggest item, and the biggest last item is consent. Fursuits are not consent. Consent goes beyond 18 plus activities. Touching somebody without consent, there are a lot of people with social anxiety, people who have stress responses to being touched by surprise. You don't go up to a fursuiter, tackle them from behind, and say, "Hey," that is how people get injured. I've seen it happen.
He's just slowly backing away.
Are you scared?
Are you scared?
I'm gonna steal your donut. See,
I just want to say real quick, you in the back by the Vulpix, love it.
that is a really cute plushie. You got a pair of Pokemon over there. That's super sweet.
Yes. All right. So another question, that was what we had explained earlier. Have you ever been called a musky husky?
I unironically have not, but that's because I care very much about my hygiene. I have a job that if I get sick, I don't get paid. And if I'm sick, it can cost people tens of thousands of dollars if I'm not doing what I need to do. So when I leave, take my PTO to come to a convention like this, I have to be really sure that I don't get sick coming back. I have heard it used ironically, and I have turned and said something critical about their use of Axe body spray, but
Another, could you ask, what do we mean by musky husky? It's about the BO. Like, maybe you don't smell so good. Somebody will say something, and then, make you feel a little bit embarrassed. But that's what they're called.
it is not a personal offense or a slight against your person if somebody tells you you need a shower, because this is a lot of fun. A lot of people here have ADHD, get distracted. I have had to tell a roommate to take a shower because they've been having so much fun throughout the weekend, right? I have had to tell somebody on staff, when is the last time you had a meal? I don't like it when the answer is greater than 24 hours ago. I need my people to take care of themselves. For as intelligent as we are, we can organize cool, funny animal conventions. No other animal on the planet can do that. No one pretends to be a human. We are taxes. You don't see crocodiles getting together in Australia doing it. But We're over here being so intelligent and so creative and so amazing, and still forget to eat food and drink water, two necessities of life.
Second, about scrolls on skateboards. All right. So I know all of you here. Like this is a question for everybody and us up here. So how many friends have you made at a convention?
So many. So many.
I'm your friend.
Zero, really.
Oh,
Sure, you can make one.
I make friends.
What are friends?
I make friends, but because I'm a lead, I start to lose them when I start asking them if they want to join staff.
what are friends?
That's an excellent question. If you have the answer, let me know.
You're all my
The only good news to borrow money is to donate it to the convention.
yes. I'll tell you what. All of you in
I
here are
have
my
so many
friends.
friends.
All of you in here are my friends.
Heyo.
Do you all have, and you all at least have one friend, if none.
You're their friend now. They're having soft tacos later.
Yes. Maybe. All right. So, what is your favorite convention you've been to?
I'm gonna take that phone call in a second. Hold on. According to the legal department of Texas Furry Fiesta, Texas Furry Fiesta is my favorite convention. I will never stop coming to Texas Furry Fiesta. If I quit working for Texas Furry Fiesta, I forfeit my right to. I'm going to stop there. You'll excuse me just a moment.
Okay. All right. So, my favorite convention is the FF because I not only have I been here so much, I have been here many years. And for all those that is your first time, I hope this is your favorite convention. I hope you go to many more. And one question I have, what is the best thing you guys may answer if you want. What's the best thing that's happened to you at any convention, if or maybe this one? What's the best thing that's happened to you? Yes.
My girlfriend.
You met your girlfriend. Awesome. Yes. In the back. What's your favorite? And you said you had to hug a lot of people? Yes, that's awesome. Yes.
I met you.
You met me. Awesome. In the back, yes. All the kind people, that is awesome. My favorite thing is this turnout at this panel. This is the most people I've ever had in front of me. Hagrid, what is your best thing, your most favorite thing that's happened at a convention?
My favorite thing that's ever happened at a convention, I got to officiate a wedding at a convention, and I think that is probably the coolest thing that I've had the honor of doing.
That is awesome. Well, the other best thing that has happened to me at a convention, I met my husband. And I married him, Axel. And
That's right, you get put on the spot.
this is my husband. This is my beautiful husband, Axel. Hey, our anniversary of 2 years will be August 7th.
That's fun. Congratulations, by the way.
Yes. Thank you.
So I want to point out that the biggest thing in common with a lot of these answers is the social element, the people. There are a lot of people here with social anxiety that you're gonna have to drag them into a panel room. I'm sure there's at least one person here who's dragged against their will. So there we go. I see hands in the back.
Yeah.
And I know that they're dragged against their will because they're hiding in the back. And then one of y'all put someone else's hand up. I saw it happen. You cannot hide. There it happens again. You cannot hide from me. But this is how there's so much to be done. And the biggest thing about the conventions, right? We have panels, we have games, events, stuff.
And we have
90% of it is run by y'all. We handle the registration and the organization, like the legal stuff, but the stuff that happens at con, all these panels that happen, maybe 5% of them are hosted by the staff. The rest of it, it's all y'all. These are all your ideas that you're bringing people together, right? meet and greets for crazy. If there's a hyena meet and greet, insert species here. There's a meet and greet for it. Is there a meet and greet for Dutch Angel Dragons? Yeah, there is. See. So who thinks they've got like the weirdest species or the most unique species? What do we got? All the way back.
A moth.
A moth. What about was that you in the pink?
Swiss red tar.
Oh wow, that's
That's a. I don't think there's meet and greet for that one yet.
I don't know about that one, but that is
But if you want to have a salad soda meet and greet,
actually I'm gonna use the Reno. Reno one.
you know what? Yeah, I can see that. But this, to bring it all together, the coolest thing about these conventions, right? We all have these experiences that are super cool, but like it's all y'all. This is you guys putting all the fun in each other's pockets, and I think that's really awesome.
I know this is a common problem, and it's one of those unspoken. How do you deal with anxiety at a convention?
So, anxiety at a convention. There are several ways to deal with anxiety. This is. I'm going to get on my soapbox here for a second.
Oh, please don't.
I care so much about this topic because anxiety affects probably 3 out of every 4 of us in some way, shape, or form. And in high crowded environments, right, this is a very, very common thing in our community. Anxiety is normal as far as this collective group is concerned, right? When 75% of like furries, I think, have some sort of chronic anxiety or anxiety that is involved with large crowds, and we have this kind of turnout at the convention, right? It speaks volumes that we are all so brave to actually come out here and pretend to be extroverted before going and locking ourselves up for another 3 weeks. Um, all this being said, anxiety is unique in that it can hit you at any given time. Sometimes you just have the feels, and it can be really easy to just shut yourself in a room. The number one thing to remember when you have that feeling is that that is okay. That is normal and it is valid. If you need to take a breath, a breather, there is no expectation for any one person at this convention to do anything that they are not comfortable with. If that means that they're not comfortable leaving their bed all day, sometimes that happens, and that is okay. And I think that if we can get that understanding out, dealing with anxiety becomes a lot better. It's not something you deal with per se, it is something that you work with and work around.
And everybody does it in their own way.
Exactly. And there's no specific how do I get over my anxiety? If anyone has the answer to that, they're either lying to you or they're about to be a billionaire. And there's no in between.
I don't think I don't think the latter is an option.
Yeah, well, I mean, so therapists have been working on understanding anxiety and how it affects people for a very, very long time. And it's not a new science. And there really haven't been any massive breakthroughs on how to deal with it because everyone's anxiety is unique to them, right? The source of anxiety for a lot of people comes on, it is a culmination of their life events, right? And part of just who they are. So when you find a mechanism that works for you, it is so important to realize that is a huge breakthrough, and you should be proud of yourself for that if you do get to that point. And if you're still struggling with it, that's okay. I cannot stress this enough. That is valid, and you are okay. Take whatever time you need to do whatever you need to do to make sure that at the end of the day, you are safe and you are cared for. The last thing I want to see at any given convention.
See, for me personally, right before this talk show even started, I was freaking the fuck out. But I'm okay now. I'm here, and we're going strong.
I'm really good at hiding it. I'm actually having 13 simultaneous panic attacks right now. But it's because I'm having all of those at the same time that my face muscles are actually stretching out to look normal. What do we got here?
I actually kind of went through the same thing the first day here. Like I was very, very claustrophobic in my own fursuit because I had it on for so long.
Oh yeah, that happens.
I was like, I had to get this off.
It happens at first, especially if you're new to it. Like my personal experience, the first head I worn was actually the pant head back there. That's my first suit. But I moved from that to what I have now. This is my third suit. And I've had a lot of convention experiences. I've made a lot of friends. And it's been a blast. It's been a blessing for me. I've had so much fun doing all the cons and doing my talk show, which is currently live on YouTube. Say hi, YouTube.
Hello.
So one of the questions are real. Like some of you, yes, this is your first convention. What are some essentials that people should bring to conventions?
All right, I'm gonna bring it back to hygiene real quick. How many of you have been in the elevators this weekend? How many of
I
you?
should see all of those hands going up.
How many of you have been in an elevator with somebody whose breath needs a little help? That is a lot of people.
Yes.
Bring a toothbrush and toothpaste and a little bit of mouthwash. If you don't notice, hotels don't advertise this, but every single hotel on the planet, if you forget something, they have extras at the front desk. If you don't have a toothbrush and toothpaste when you're done here, go to the front desk and ask for one. You'll be saving a lot of people, including myself. I need to not die of asphyxiation before I get out of here.
You
But
don't
basic
have,
hygiene supplies
you don't
are
have
really
to.
important.
Why not? The Dutchie does not have teeth. You still gotta brush.
But don't press your guns too hard.
Some of the other essentials you should definitely bring is water. And I'd say at least 5 pairs of gloves. Or maybe 6.
How many of you here have reusable water bottles? There we go. Yeah, everyone's got a giant one. I don't see anyone with like the super like tiny ones. Yeah, these reusable water bottles are actually really cool. When you travel with them, you can fill them up at any of our water stations. You don't have to waste cups. You don't make trash when you do it. You can bring it with you everywhere. They're really handy. I highly recommend that at a convention. It's really easy to get really dehydrated. I've got one. I don't have it with me. It's in my room. I know I'm a terrible person. Do what I say, not what I do.
But why?
I know.
But why?
So
I said, but why?
but why?
But why? Why do we have to do what we say and not what we do?
Because I'm your boss, Roxie.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm not the boss of you. But yeah, no, it's important to bring what you need to take care of yourself. This convention, right? However many days you're going to be at convention, the rule I follow when I'm packing, I bring enough clothing for my travel day in, one pair of clothing for each day of the convention, one for my travel day out, and one extra. Because inevitably, I'm going to have a day where I'm running around like crazy, and I get something on my shirt. I'm sweating like crazy and I need to change, right? Um, a sock goes missing, and if I have mismatched socks, I would rather jump out of a hotel window than mismatch my socks.
Yeah, I don't care about socks. I just put socks on.
What is wrong with this?
Oh, you clean it, okay.
I clean socks, yeah, this sucks. Bring enough clothes, right, to support yourself. Bring your hygiene items. Beyond that, it is what you want to do with the convention. And I cannot stress this enough. There is nothing in this fandom that says you have to have a person. I'm going to jump on my soapbox again. If you have a person, great. Traveling with a person can be difficult. If you're traveling to out of state conventions, how many people airlined in? How many people airlined into DFW International Airport? How long did you have to wait for your checked bags to arrive? Not at all. Some people wait longer than others. When the wait time is very short, you can rest assured know that your checked bag is being shot at maximum velocity by the person carrying it. If it makes it to the baggage claim in less than 15 minutes, it's because it has hit every single service in the airport at least 15 times like a G-Bot ragdoll.
Yeah, question here.
So I don't is that on the back airline in the baggage system at airports.
I'm about to judge you.
Yeah, this is good. It's horrifying back.
Yeah.
And if you're really concerned about your first shoot making it, oversized check it because that gets handled by hand and it's pretty much from the gate directed to the plane
Yeah.
and back.
So for those who didn't hear what he said, if you have a fursuit, if you use an oversized check bag, it will cost you more. I'm not gonna lie, it will cost you more, but that does get handled manually because oversized check bags cannot be handled by the conveyor belt systems at a lot of these major airports. The whole point of this system is to make sure that bags don't get stuck on these conveyor belts.
So like it's too big, flight attendant, running around the plane.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you had a bad experience in Spirit. Vance.
I feel sorry for you.
I can fall from my spirit.
I was going to say that, but you did.
Did you? This is why we don't lose spirit.
You know. No, but that's really important. So, yeah. Students, it is legal to carry on. Are you two having a conversation? Are you letting me know?
Are you?
You did what to their coffee?
How
I love your glasses, by the way. Those are super cute.
You're welcome.
Telephone was here.
All right. So
No,
another question.
what's that?
I don't know. What's going on?
Go for it.
So
Sorry.
Your brain's gone.
Sorry. What?
aren't all of ours? Anyway,
Oh, one.
are there any unwritten rules at convention, like social cues, difficult to catch up with fursuiters, flight etiquette?
We have gone over a lot of the first etiquette briefly. I want to point out that there are a lot of written rules. When you sign up for registration, you're agreeing to follow the rules of the convention. It is important to read those. Every convention has different policies. One policy that a lot of people don't know about, one rule at TFF, is that leashes are technically not allowed out and about. And it's not a rule that's in several other conventions, but in ours it is. And it's because our legal department has deemed them to be a hazard, right? When you've got 9,000 people in a space, and one person's holding a leash that's connected to somebody's neck, and somebody is looking down at their phone and gets clotheslined by a leash, that could be a problem. But as for unwritten rules, right? There are, oh my gosh,
That's another
go
problem.
for it.
See, for me, like a lot of unwritten rules, like flight etiquette, those that are like, you take the elevator. Everybody that sees fursuiters and their handlers, with us, we made the rule like the unwritten rule as anybody who has accessibility can go first on the elevator, and those who have who are wearing full fursuits and have one handler are allowed. And as far as that goes, like I personally have had many issues with that.
Did you talk about elevators?
Yes.
Okay. Did you talk about ways to ask fursuiters for hugs?
Ways to ask fursuiters for hugs, not touching them, please.
What is the universal symbol for I want a hug? Yes, everyone knows it. I want a hug. Can I get a hug?
Big open.
Do you know what a big universal symbol for no thank you is? That's right, this. If they're doing this, right, or if they're shaking their head no, don't go try to hug them anyways. Lastly, what is the symbol if you're a fursuiter and you're starting to overheat? What are you going to start doing on your way to the elevator? There it is.
Another thing. If a fursuiter says no on hugs, don't follow them.
Yeah, don't be creepy.
Don't be creepy.
In so many words, don't be creepy. I've been followed back to my room before. It's not a pleasant conversation. And if you follow me back to my room, that is a conversation that usually ends in your badge getting revoked.
Speaking of the creepy, say someone comes up like, "Hey, my ex is here. What can I do?"
Okay. This is a tough question because as a convention, we try not to deal with interpersonal relationships as best we can. There's just a limit to what we can do as a convention. So it's a matter of making sure that we encourage people to have good behavior on their own. The things you do not do, if you find out, hey, this person who I think is the worst person in the world and needs to fall off the face of the earth this year, we get it. You don't like them. What you do not do is go and hunt them down and cause a scene. Our security department, our park rangers department, already has enough going on dealing with people who are having too much fun. So it is important to make sure that if you have an issue with someone, best thing you can do is stay away. If you are forced to an interaction where you just can't be avoided and you are uncomfortable, look for convention staff. Convention staff are here to help you feel safe, right? We like to avoid being involved in things, but if it becomes inevitable, we are here to help. We have a lot of good people, a lot of good resources. The park rangers department is our security department. It's not truly security, but they are our people help. And they wear green polo shirts. You cannot miss them. They have radios in their ears. You ever feel unsafe? You ever have a concern in the convention space? They are the people you want to talk to. If you can't find one, go to the help desk. They always have a way to access them.
And talking about staff. So you guys are all here, right? And we're all here talking about staffing and everything. And if a question some might have, like, am I a staff? Or would you like to staff?
I would love to have more staff at this convention. So here's a fun little number. This past year, between last year and this year, for those of you who don't know,
Oh no,
TFF changed from
our Dutchie has that. Anyway, continue.
what? I got so excited to talk about joint staff, and you're like, someone died. Anyway. Oh no.
Oh no.
Anyway.
Oh no. Anyway.
So last year, this convention was in March. This convention has historically always taken place in late February, early March. We pushed back an entire month this year. This means a lot of people couldn't make it that they used to be able to. And not to mention, political climate in the state has made a lot of people very uncomfortable. And it's a very uncomfortable conversation. Some of you may have heard of an act being introduced into the state Congress in Texas called the Furries Act. And I'm not going to go into the politics of it, but needless to say, people feel uncomfortable. And that has caused us, over the last year, 81 of our staffers that we had before were for some reason or another not able to make it this year. This being said, our HR department hired 79 people this year. That is a lot of people. None of us get paid for what we do. We're all volunteers. And so we can use all the help we get. Our convention attendance will always keep growing. That's the nature of what we do as a convention. And so we need the staff to keep up with it. All of our departments are short-staffed, and we love to see people help. So the question is, how do you help? If you have experience volunteering at a convention, or staffing another convention, Furry Fiesta, we would love to have you on board. On the website, furryfiesta.org, there is a section under About Us with a How Can I Help? There are two links. One is volunteer, and the other is staff. They're in that order on that page. If you don't have experience staffing or volunteering at a convention, this is a great place to start. We love having extra hands. Outside of main events, there is a table that is the volunteer desk. You can get things for free by volunteering. If you volunteer enough, we will comp your registration next year. Like, that is how much we appreciate the help. And with that, if you really want to get involved, make the convention better. You want to make the convention better? Don't eat my phone. It's not orange. It's not a club. It's microphone. If you want to make the convention better, we love your help. And the best way to do that is to apply on the website, right? If you want to volunteer at this convention, right, that desk is still going to be open. Get started. Understand what we do as a convention, right? Start to learn about the ins and outs of what happens behind the scenes. As staffers, right, you have the ability to influence this convention around you. You say, I'm having a great time, but here's something I think would be really cool, right? The people who implement that, those cool ideas, those are the guys on staff. It's really cool to have you guys join us and be on board. And I'd love to see some of these heads that I see here join our group. It's really cool to have.
No, not all.
It's green, I want
No,
it. It's green, I want it.
that's your dinner.
Yeah, go for it.
Spring conventions, and I was curious about what your thoughts are on the roof parties and like as like if they're just like completely about to go to or like a chair, like how do we feel what safely or what wants to go to like
That's an excellent series of questions. So the question was about moon parties. Are they bad? Is it safe to go to them? How do I go about going to them safely? So parties as a whole are not objectively bad. Um, they are not run. It's important to know that moon parties are not run by the convention. They are not managed by the convention. They are typically held and hosted by individuals in a hotel room. This being said, that means they're also, generally speaking, not subject to the convention's rules. What happens inside someone's hotel room does not take place in what's called convention space. So the best way to be safe going into those, a lot of these parties will serve alcohol, whether that's BYOB or otherwise.
If it's mine, I'll card you.
Yeah, they check all these room parties, the responsible ones will check IDs if they're serving alcohol. Biggest red flag you can find is if you go to a hotel or to a room party in a hotel room, and they're just serving booze everywhere and nobody's checking IDs. But to me, that's a huge red flag.
Other thing, if you have a room party and you serve a minor, that is a down low. We look down on you.
It's not just that, that is a crime. It is illegal to furnish alcohol to a minor in every state. In Texas, doing so can be a problem. The Sheraton at this hotel, if they find out that you have served alcohol to a minor, they will call the police. They will find out, and you will face problems. So it is very, very important.
Don't be that person.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah, because you can ruin the whole experience for everybody for years to come.
It takes one incident like that to cause hotels to change entire policies around room parties. Texas Arabia does not have any designated room party floor. What people do in their own hotel room, it's kind of illegal here. What people do in their own hotel room is up to them. The hotel does not particularly like the idea of an open room party because that's just not the kind of hotel Sheraton is. It's not that they hate them; it's that this type of hotel is rather upscale and room parties come with a lot of noise. I'm getting another phone call.
Now I can continue touching base on that. Like, so there's very here, like in terms, working Denver and going to Denver like I do, they have a designated party floor, but they check IDs because of things like serving minors or issues in that sense. So
Here, come in.
I hate moving my train of thought, but be grateful for what is here and available and the freedoms that you have at this convention. It's very like this is my first attending for TFL, and just how open and non-restrictive it is very nice. So don't ruin a good thing by doing it wrong.
I do run my room parties, and I will card you, but my room parties are just way much.
Yeah.
I just want to also point out, cons have been shut down over issues of minors getting a hold of alcohol, so.
Like the LSC.
Not naming names, because there's more than one, but this is a real thing, it has caused cons to shut down.
Yes.
Well, and also, if you have underage guests at a room party, there should be a mark, a stamp, an X, something on their physical body to say that they are underage and not allowed to have alcohol. That's the other thing that Roxie requires.
Yes.
Every underage person gets an X the minute they walk in the room.
Yes. For me, if you're in my room party and you're underage, I will put an X on your hand. If you can't drink or you choose to drink, I will put a circle. If you are of age, over 21, and you choose not to drink, you get an X. Otherwise, if you are of age, you want to drink, circle.
So that is something that is, generally speaking, seen across room parties. The X on the hand is something that is very universally recognized. I will say at the end of the day, whose job is it to be safe in a room party? It's yours. When you go to a room party, you accept the risk the same way you do if you go to a bar, if you go out to the club, etc.
Any other questions?
Have you got someone back there? I think we're getting waved at.
Okay, thank you.
I know.
Oh, yeah. That's right, Megan.
Okay. Does someone have a question that we missed?
I think, Yodi back there have questions.
Good for now.
Good for now. All right. Thank you, everybody, so much for coming out. I enjoyed
It's